Week 16 of the 2012 season is in the books, so we're going to recap that in our Pro Football Weekly Spin Cycle, joined by senior editor Eric Edholm. And Eric, some teams clinched playoff berths, got some early Christmas gifts. Other teams eliminated from the playoffs on Sunday. Overall, though, what did we learn this week?
Well, besides the playoff implications that we learned got a little bit clearer, we learned that 1 week doesn't mean anything when you look at the next week. It seemed like every part along the season that we've asked ourselves, who's the best team? Who's hot right now? Who's not playing well? It seems like the next week it gets undercut completely. I mean, just look back to week 15. Houston gets a big win. Dallas, San Francisco with a massive victory in New England, all looking more shaky after week 16. So it just says that heading into the playoffs, we have a lot of unknowns, even, not just the teams that aren't going to make it, even the teams that are already in the postseason. We don't know what we're going to get.
The 49ers were crowned the best team in the league after beating the Patriots last week, even though they give up the big lead and they get crushed by the Seahawks. Are the Seahawks the best team? Well, Pro Football Weekly right now looks like the Denver Broncos are going to be number one in our power rankings.
Right.
If they lose to the Chiefs next week, we know there's some kind of curse going on.
Something's wrong.
There were some surprises this week, not many. I think you touched on a couple of them with those teams losing, but the biggest surprise to you was a guy that didn't play very much and why he didn't play.
Yeah, Tim Tebow was active. He was one of 3 quarterbacks for the Jets who was active on Sunday, yet he didn't take a single snap. We think we understand why. There was an ESPN report that he asked out of the Wildcat, that he didn't want any part of it, and that to me is a shock and a surprise. We did know that he was unhappy. We figured he was going to play elsewhere next season. Those aren't surprises. But the fact that Tim Tebow, who's billed as an ultimate competitor, wanted nothing to do with the football field on Sunday, I think that's a serious blow to his reputation as a football player. He's always been lauded not only for his physical toughness, but his mental toughness, outworking people. So this is a surprise if it is indeed true, and I think will haunt him for part of his career.
Yeah, I mean, with Tim Tebow, obviously this experiment has gone terribly wrong. It's understandable for him, that he would be frustrated with the situation, but he's always, promotes himself as a team player. I'll do whatever it takes for the team, and he has done a very good job of that this season, but at the end, maybe it's been too much of a problem. Well, Tim Tebow certainly not the player of the week this week. Neither is Jeremy Curley, who threw a nice pass out of the Wildcat formation in for Tim Tebow, but our player of the week came in the Sunday night game.
Yeah, Russell Wilson I thought was outstanding. I mean, in a week that had 9 quarterbacks with 300 yards of passing and 3 of those guys had more than 400 yards, Wilson made the most of his passes, only 21 of them, but had the 4 TDs, ran around, carved up that San Francisco defense, and got what I thought was one of the biggest victories in the week. We'll see if they can match that. If eventually at some point they're going to have to leave Seattle and play that well, but he was the player of the day, and I thought he was outstanding against the Niners.
Another huge game by Russell Wilson. I don't think you can give the Rookie of the Year award to Robert Griffin III yet or Andrew Luck. I think Russell Wilson's made a 3-horse race. Should be very interesting for the voters to see how they determine which of those 3 quarterbacks is most deserving of the Rookie of the Year award. To see our spin cycles from each division and to get the analysis from Week 16, head to our website at ProFootballWeekly.com.